Can you do a northern accent at all? Do you have a favourite phrase, British phrase?
Bruv.
Bruv.
I love saying bruv. It's not your time, bruv. You're not my supervisor, bro.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Holly Geraghty, and today I'm joined by David for the latest in Enemies in Conversation series. Hi David, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. You're joining us in London today. You're on the UK and European leg of your My House Is Not a Home tour. Performed in Coco last night. How was it?
It was great, fantastic.
Yeah. I heard you had fans queuing round the
streets for you. It was crazy, yeah. It was like 2 blocks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there anything different about performing for a London crowd? Is there more energy? Or?
There is more energy. There is more energy. Like every time I say jump, they jump, which I love. So.
And you brought your little sister onto the stage with you.
I did.
Can you tell us a little bit about how?
Yeah, I mean, I like to pay as much credit as I can to her because she's kind of the one that let me use her closet as a studio when I was first starting out in music. So I would like keep her up all night because I'd be like literally right there in the closet recording, screaming at the top of my lungs while she's trying to sleep. So like to pay her back and let her have her little moment to shine, I'll bring her up on stage for a couple shows. Yeah.
How does she take to the stage? Is she a natural?
Yeah, I mean, she pretends to be nervous too. Like she knows like how to sell the performance. So it's like she knows she's not nervous, but she likes like, oh, hi everybody, just to like make it more of a aww moment than, you know.
Does she feel like she's due some credit for the success of
She does,
David?
actually. Yeah, she wants to be an artist now too.
Oh, she does?
Yeah, she's already started making music on her phone.
No way! I'm guessing you're teaching her the ropes.
I am not.
Oh no!
I'm not. I'm letting her figure it out first and I'm gonna come in.
What kind of stuff is she writing about?
I have no clue.
Is she 7?
Yeah, she just turned 7.
What kind of things does a 7-year-old have to
Hello
say?
Kitty and Coco Melon.
So we're also here today because you have a fan event later on. You're going to meet some fans. You've got your EP vinyl. How does it feel to see it on vinyl?
It feels great. I mean, like I've always wanted to have something feel timeless, and vinyl records is something that you put up on your wall. You have the artwork as decorations, and you have that beautiful disc art that you can like just look at and admire. And I bought a record player last year, and I had my fair share of records, and this is one that I obviously play because I don't really listen to my own music like that.
Oh, really?
But when I listen to it on vinyl, it's like, okay, that's me.
Yeah.
So.
So you're making time to meet the fans today. They're already queuing up outside here. Why is that important for you to make time for that?
I love the connection. I mean, like the fans are the reason why the music is what it is. I mean, it's nothing to do with me. It's about the connection with the actual audience. So I just like connecting with them on a personal level too, because they're the ones listening to the music and the ones that are relating to it. So I want to relate to them on a more personal level as well.
Now, we are in London today, and if I'm not mistaken, you're a bit of a fan of the UK London accent or British accent?
Yeah, I've used it in so many songs.
Yeah, so much so that you've adopted the accent in some of your songs. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, listening to Arctic Monkeys was just like a game changer for me when I started out in music. And like, I just wanted to sound like that so bad. And I kind of just forced it, and then it worked. So yeah, shout out to Arctic Monkeys for that. Yeah.
Can you do a northern accent at all? Do you have a favourite phrase, British phrase?
Bruv. I love saying bruv. It's not your time, bruv. You're not my supervisor, bro.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I hear Pink Pantheress has kind of trickled in a little bit as an influence.
Yeah, I do love Pink Panthers. Yeah. What's the thing she says all the time? Early. She says early in a certain way in her songs. I love the way she says that. Yeah.
Nice. So before you came to the UK on this tour, you just finished the North American leg and you did 3 sold-out shows at the Fonda in LA. How do you begin to sum up what an experience like that is like?
It's amazing. I mean, the night 1 was like, I brought the energy, and then night 2 I brought the vocals, and then night 3 I brought like the balance of them both. So it was like super, super euphoric. I mean, I was saving my voice because, you know, I'd scream at my shows. So 3 nights back to back was crazy for me. But I pushed through it. Yeah.
It's obviously not your hometown, but there's something special about being able to sell out LA. I feel like it's like the center.
Because everybody thinks they're too cool for concerts over there. So to be able to sell out 3 nights is like, I did that.
Yeah. Obviously, your career started, as you said, in a closet, and a lot of it was very DIY. You're making songs on your phone. How have you gone about sort of adapting to this new part of your career, this new live aspect? Like, was that quite a daunting thing to take on?
No, I mean, when I did my first show, because prior to performing my first ever show last year, February 17th, I had never been to a concert myself. Like, I never went to concerts or festivals or anything of the sort. So it was kind of like I was letting the audience perform to me as I was performing to them. And it was kind of like I didn't get nervous. I didn't have like a mental breakdown backstage. Like, it was just like, I'm gonna go out and just perform my songs. But yeah, it's super easy. I love performing. I mean, when you're performing to people that know your songs, it's like their energy transfer. It's like they give me energy, I give them energy, and we're both like having fun. Like, it's just having fun on stage is like the most important thing to me.
Yeah, you're a real belter. Like TikTok videos, you really go for those belts. So like, is that just feels like easy to you? Is that vocal warm-ups or?
I get in trouble for not doing my warm-ups before shows, but I just like to make the room shake. I feel like when I was watching, taking notes on artists, I was watching SZA, I was watching The Weeknd, and I was watching Adele. And one thing they all do is they have moments in the show where they just scream and everybody goes crazy. So I was like, I want to have some moments in my show that does that too. So I have the ending of Romantic Homicide, the ending of Backstreet Girl, and the ending of Leave Her. I just scream. Yeah.
And that gets the crowd going.
Exactly. Yeah.
What kind of notes were you taking when you were watching them?
How to project. Like it's all about like the stage presence, where you keep your hands as well. My first tour that I did, my hands were always low, and you don't seem confident when your hands are below your belt. So like I keep my hands here, and I make sure to point to people now. And then when I'm doing the high notes, I remember keep my hands above the sky, so it gives more of a presence to the stage. And I wasn't doing that last year, so now I'm like figuring out stage presence too.
So when you performed your first show, which was also your first concert, what was your first reaction about the magic of those live moments? What was the thing that really hit you?
That show was such a blur. We had like a bunch of technical difficulties at that show too. So I think the magic of it is making sure that you give the audience a moment too. Because as much as they're coming to see me, they're also coming to experience the concert. Like I don't want it to be a concert, I want it to be a show. So like, you know, going down and shaking the crowd's hands and giving people hugs and, you know, looking at people specifically when you're singing a song and giving people that moment to feel heard and noticed during the show too is very important to me, because like they're coming to see me, but they're also, you know, experiencing it there too.
So you mentioned SZA, of course, last year you opened up for her in arenas around the USA. What was that experience like, first and foremost?
That was insane. I mean, I can't even begin to describe it. I mean, the first show we did was in Miami, and then like, it just all clicked from there. She's so nice, and her fans are great to me as well. Like, they knew all my songs. It was almost like 2 headliners. Wow. It's almost like a mini festival. But yeah, it was amazing.
What did you learn from? Did you watch her every night?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of notes were you taking?
Every single night. So she has these different elements in between songs and also during the songs that I kind of added to my show as well, because I love when I listen to a song and then I go to the concert and it sounds different in a way, because it's like, why would I pay to see the same thing? So like, I have different versions of my songs now that I'm performing on stage, and they sound much different than the studio version or the recorded version. I think best example of that is Bleed Out, Take Me to the Sun, Romantic Homicide, and Leave Her. They all sound much different than what they do on streaming services. So.
What's different about performing in an arena compared to a smaller venue?
I don't have to look at anybody. It's the best feeling in the world. It's like there's so much eye contact in my show, which I love, but then it's like, if in an arena you're looking at a group of people here, a group of people here, and then a group of people there, so it's like, I just love like the space between it. It's just, it feels so huge. Yeah.
And you like backflip at your shows?
Yeah, a lot of them,
How did you learn to backflip?
I did gymnastics for 6 years, and I did martial arts for 2, and I did parkour for 4. Yeah.
Has it ever gone wrong, or is it all okay?
I think the only time I didn't land a backflip was last year. I think I was in Australia, and somebody was holding up a sign that said, "Do a shoey," and I tried to look at it while doing the backflip, and I missed.
Is that the where you drink
Yeah.
out of a shoe? Oh, okay. Did you do one?
No.
Okay.
Nah, my immune system cannot handle that.
So we have your Petals Thorn EP in front of us here. Of course, like we said, created entirely on your phone. you have teased that you've been working on some new music, you've been dropping some teasers online. How have you found that transition into a more standard industry music kind of space where you're working with producers and studios? What's that experience been like?
It was interesting, to say the least. When I started, I remember coming to LA last year on a recording trip, and I was like kind of speed dating producers and trying to see what worked and what didn't. And I found the best process for me personally was to find people that aren't known like that. So I'm listening to an artist named Scott James for a long time, since 2017, and he's opening for this tour actually. And he's a great producer, and I was like, how about we just start making music? And now he's executive producing the album with me. So it's like, I like the DIY, do-it-yourself kind of mentality. It's always stuck with me. It's always been like the way that I've made the best music. So I'm just keep doing things the unconventional way and just see where it gets me. So.
How does it feel doing what you do almost with an audience around you, especially the subject matters you like to write about, quite romantic, quite intense? Are you able to do that with people around?
It's fantastic. I feel like I'm a bit of a show-off sometimes. So I love like when I'm meeting with new producers and stuff like that, and they put on an instrumental, and I'm like just freestyling these super deep emotional lyrics just right there on the spot. And then we make a song in like 30 minutes, and it's like, yeah, we just did that. So I think, for me personally, I do write better music when I'm alone, but I do make better songs when I'm around other people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the writing is better when I'm alone, and then the overall song is better when I'm with other people.
So what's your process then? You are, of course, working on an album at the moment, so are you very private? Do you do it on the tour bus?
I have written a couple songs on tour last year and this year. I'm working on a bunch of songs right now. I'm not very precious with music right now. I feel like after dropping 2 EPs last year and then dropping a couple singles earlier this year, it's kind of just like the end of the experimenting phase for me. And I've kind of found my niche again with the sounds I'm choosing on the album. And I'm doing a little bit of quantity over quality right now, but it's gonna go back to quality over quantity very soon, because I finally found the topics I want to talk about, how I wanted to feel, and what the motive is, so it's all coming together. Yeah.
Can we get a little taste of what those niches might be?
So basically, last year was a lot of super indie rock, Steve Lacy, Dominic Fike vibes, but now it's more leaning towards like a Billie Eilish, also Dominic Fike, but kind of like taking it back to what made my music special in 2022. It's like really old music too. I'm listening to a lot of Jeff Buckley right now, a lot of David Bowie. I'm listening to Michael Jackson too. Like, I'm just trying to bring back very old sounding things and making them sound modern right now.
On the journey so far, you've had this incredible couple of years, especially kind of coming out of the sort of like COVID years and experiencing the live circuit and your fans in real life. What have you found that you've been most proud of so far on the journey?
That's a good question. What am I most proud of? The growth as an artist. I feel like you have to reach a certain point where you can call yourself an artist when you're not just a musician. I feel like I'm still in the musician phase. But once this album drops and the tours happen next year, I feel like that's gonna solidify me as like an actual artist. And yeah, just the process too, like going from making music on my phone to then learning how to do things in the studio and learn how to, use a professional mic. I remember the first time I used a real studio, I was in New York City at Alicia Keys' studio, and I couldn't do it. Like, I was sitting in front of this $4,000 Norman mic, and I was on my phone making music in the booth. But yeah, the journey for sure, the growth as an artist is what I'm most proud of.
What is it about the studio setting that was challenging?
I don't know, it didn't click for me at first. Like, I was in there and I just couldn't get it because I was so used to doing everything myself. And when the engineer couldn't figure out what I wanted in my head, I was like, bro, I'm not doing that, bro. So it was like more of a connection with me and who I'm making music with rather than the studio itself. So it's just the people.
Yeah.
It's just the people.
Speaking of which, you have been in the studio with Dominic Fike.
I have.
Can you tell us anything about what you guys are working on?
Yeah. So you never know what's gonna happen with Dom. Like, he's all over the place all the time. But we locked down a studio session, and it's the first song that I've ever made where we made it all together. Like, he was playing the drums and the guitar, and then his friend Henry was doing different things on the bass, and we recorded the song completely in a live room. And it was the first time I ever did something like that. Very experimental. It's very rough right now, but we're gonna be working some more soon, and we're gonna see where that goes.
Exciting.
So.
And I also heard that you have recorded with Little Nas X as well.
I do have like 4 songs with
him.
He's also a hard one to lock down. Like, I don't think those songs will ever come out with the way he's going right now. But his rollout's about to be amazing as well.
Amazing, so. Exciting. What's he like to work with?
He's fast too. I feel like we have the same kind of off the top freestyle, see what works, see what doesn't work. But yeah, I love like writers who can just put things down and aren't so precious on, oh, I gotta take this back home and write. But like me and him are just bar for bar, bar for bar, bar for bar. Yeah.
Something that I find really fascinating about you as an artist is that you have this DIY sort of like backstory and these roots about how obviously you started making music for your Fortnite videos, but your music is so deep and profound and the lyrics are so like romantic and people really responding to them very strongly. I've always been curious, how did that side of you, how naturally did it come out? Especially just you started making music and that's what came out of you.
It was supernatural. I've been writing poetry since I was in 5th grade. I had a poetry journal my grandmother gave to me, and I would never pay attention to school. That's like the whole reason why my parents homeschooled me when I hit 8th grade. But yeah, I was writing short stories and comic books since I can remember, and I was really good at drawing at one point too. I would write like a comic a day for a year when I got to 6th grade, and then I started watching a lot more anime, and then I was reading a lot of manga. And then I started writing my own mangas as well. But yeah, I've always been writing about like complex themes and like romance and stuff like that. That's like my favorite stories ever. So yeah, I've been doing it since 5th grade, so a long time.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Have you heard anyone who's like used one of your songs at a wedding or anything like that yet?
Yeah, I actually performed at my manager's wedding.
Wow.
Yeah, here with me.
Oh, amazing. Did that, I'm guessing that went down really well.
Yeah, it went really well.
Amazing. Speaking of romance, Romantic Homicide recently hit 1 billion streams. What does that number mean to you? Can you even comprehend it?
I wish it was dollars. But yeah, it's amazing to see like the impact music has worldwide and like how many people relate to it and how many meanings it has to different people. Like it means something to me, but also means a different thing to this person, a different thing to that person. I feel like that's the goal I want for my music, is just for people to interpret it however they see fit. So
I feel like it's one of those songs that can change meanings based on how you're feeling on that day. Yeah.
Exactly.
Just to talk about a few older songs before we look ahead to the future a bit more. You of course collaborated with Leve. Can you tell me a little bit about how you guys connected and where you feel there's sort of like a kinship with each other's music?
Yeah, I literally found her music as I was finishing high school. I think maybe June-ish 2022. She had just released her project, Everybody's Falling in Love and I'm Falling Behind. And I DM'd her on Instagram. I was like, oh my gosh, I love your music, wow. And I wasn't even about to collab or anything because I was still playing Fortnite and like making music in the closet. But then fast forward 6 months later, I dropped Here With Me, I dropped Romantic Homicide. I'm working with her producer on Sleep Well and Worthless. And then through her producers, she found me and DM'd me back. And she was like, oh my goodness, my producer just told me about you, wow, you're amazing. And I was like, let's make a song. We're working with the same producer, how about we just like connect? And yeah, we both pull up to the producer's house and then we're like, let's create a song about whatever comes to mind. And we both wrote our verses in 5 minutes each.
Wow.
And the song was made that night, yeah.
Wow. And did the themes just kind of overlap?
Literally, it was perfect.
Wow.
Yeah. And
am I right in thinking there's quite a personal story behind your lyrics in that? Is it someone from school that you saw? Do you mind telling us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so like, I had this friend in school. It's not about me personally, but it's about a friend of mine in school that was always obsessed with like over-romanticizing every situation that he was in. And he would sit on the bleachers in, what's it called? An auditorium? What's the place? The gym, in the gym. And he would like look at his crush and like draw her every single day. He would go to PE and he would draw his crush every single day. And I wrote that song about him. So,
Oh.
yeah.
You've also collaborated with Holly Humberstone.
I have.
Super Blood Moon.
UK.
Can you tell us about, another UK artist. Can you tell us about how you connected with her?
The first time I came to London, we're on the same label.
Yeah.
So it was like a no-brainer that I wanted to work with her. And me, her, and Scott Harris were trying to find like just a perfect vibe to tie together her album. And she had already written a song, and I was like, let me just like put a verse on that real quick. And I was literally in there for about 5, 10, 15 minutes. And the verse just flowed right out, right on there on the song. And it fit perfectly. The song came out. She performed it with me at a couple shows last year as well. It was just a beautiful song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you connect especially well with female artists?
I do, because the contrast is really nice with my voice and theirs as well. And I have a lot of different voices too. I don't know if people like realize that in my music. Like, I don't sound the same on any song.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
sometimes
like,
you're British.
Exactly. So it's cool to see like how well my voice meshes with different female artists. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Another song you dropped this year, you created a song for Invincible.
I did.
Can you tell us how you're a fan of the show and how the opportunity came about?
Yeah, I've been watching the show since it came out, and I was like hooked from the first episode, and I was able to meet with the music supervisor earlier this year. We were looking through a couple vibes from songs I had previously made already. They weren't liking them, so I went in and I like watched the rough draft of the scene before it was even animated, and then I wasn't able to take the scene with me, but I kind of made a mental image in my head and remembered what was going on, the scenarios of the scene. And the next day I went to the studio with a couple of my friends, and we just goofed around for like 30 minutes, and the song came out, and it was literally perfect. Like, they loved it immediately, and it came out in season 2, episode 7. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tell us about the music video. Do you do your own stunts?
I do my own stunts.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've been doing gymnastics for a long time, and I haven't lost like the sauce yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was like a dream of mine to do something like choreographed that's not dance. So like to do the fight scene. Shout out to Nick Walker for that idea. It was perfect. It was perfect.
Everyone on YouTube wants to know what you guys are fighting about.
I don't know. I don't know. I like to, this is the lore that I put out there. Like, he just got mad that I was cutting my hair in public. Okay. In the beginning of the music video, I'm like shaving my head. So I guess he just didn't rock with that, I guess. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you've also dabbled in video game music, 21 Savage for Call of Duty. How did that collaboration come about?
That was amazing. Shout out to Ryan Tedder. So we're talking about, I love writing for picture, writing for TV, movie, video games, anything like that. And 21 Savage had a collaboration with Call of Duty coming up, and Ryan Tedder just brought the opportunity to me and was like, yo, you should cut this hook, you should definitely cut this hook. I cut the hook, and I was gonna be in the music video too, but I was a day late, so I couldn't be in it when the song came out, and it's still great. And I love like the connection between the music and the gaming, because I'm such a fan of Call of Duty, so it's like perfect.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that, because I think people obviously know film, TV, strong connections with music, but video games, there's this whole sort of subgenre of like this special connection to music. It's like people who discover songs through FIFA and things like that. Can you tell us like why that's important to you? I
love it because like music and video games has been together for so long. I love video game soundtracks, like the iconic sounds, the memes that come out of it too. So like being such a video game nerd and such a music nerd at the same time, me starting music because of video games is such a poetic thing in itself, and I just want to keep that going. Just like no matter what I can be involved in, Fortnite, Call of Duty, FIFA, Madden, anything I can. I just want to keep bridging the gap between music and video games.
Do you get to game much on the go, on tour?
I have my PlayStation. Yeah,
oh, okay.
I play on tour bus. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have like a Switch or anything more sort of mobile?
No,
or?
I do have a DS though. I keep my DS since I've had my DS for years. Yeah.
Amazing. What are you playing at the moment?
Tomodachi Life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that Mario game, Mario Kart 5. Yeah.
And of course, your story began with you making music for Fortnite videos to soundtrack them. To people who don't know anything about Fortnite, why is it important for Fortnite videos to have a good soundtrack to go with them?
So basically on YouTube, there's a trend that started around 2018, 2019, where people were syncing up the shotgun shots with audio and beat drops from music, and it kind of just like stuck with it culturally with the game. So yeah, you had to use a song in a video, or else you wouldn't get any views past 2018. Yeah.
What about future projects, gaming-wise or TV, that you'd love to do a soundtrack for?
Ooh, future projects. Man, if I can get a song in the next Skate game, I'm a big fan of Skate. I want a song in the next season of The Boys. I love The Boys, and it's like almost a sister show to Invincible because of like how superhero gore and what else? The next Spider-Man movie. Come on, Spider-Verse.
Amazing.
Have to, yeah.
Besides that, what does 2024 to 2025 look like for David?
A lot more music, a lot more touring, a lot more traveling. And next year album, yeah.
Exciting. We really can't wait to hear that. It's been a pleasure to talk to you today.
Thank you.
David, thank you so much.
Thank you.